Chosen one, the moment you entered this world, something was already marked upon you, something heaven whispered into the earth before anyone could see your face. It wasn't loud. It didn't make headlines. But the spiritual world stood still for a moment, acknowledging the arrival of one whose life would be different, whose path would be divine, and whose legacy would break generational chains. You weren't born just to survive. You were sent to multiply light, shift atmospheres, and carry a blessing too great for ordinary frames. The kind of blessing that doesn't ask permission. The kind that's not earned through systems, but stamped by God Himself. That blessing, yes, that one, is what makes rich. Before the riches touch your hands, they first touch your atmosphere. The shift begins in realms unseen. And chosen one, that's where it began for you. The transformation is not arriving. It already started the moment you chose to trust when there was no reason to. The moment you kept walking while carrying wounds nobody could see. That moment activated something. It sent a signal to the heavens. And now, this message finds you in divine timing. Watch this video until the very end. Let it be more than just a message. Let it be a mirror of what's forming inside you. And in the comments, write your warmest wishes and write Amen along with the number 777. Because wishes are not just words. They are spiritual activations, energy aligned with divine current. They stir movement. They energize the universe with holy collaboration. And the one who dares to declare a wish in faith marks their place in the coming overflow. Chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you're not already part of this channel, and prepare yourself. This message starts now. There is a type of richness that can't be inherited through earthly contracts or conjured by clever hands. This richness is born of something ancient, divine, and pure. It doesn't arrive with a warning, and it's not bound by the logic of time. It can find you in a valley, or lift you while you're still weeping. God's blessing doesn't negotiate with your circumstances. It overrides them. When God decides to make you rich through His blessing, it means He has chosen to cover your name with a frequency that attracts solutions, opportunities, and wealth that flows beyond currency. It shows up in ease where there was once resistance. It enters like a gentle wind, but carries the weight of legacy. And the world, even the parts of it that tried to ignore you, will have no choice but to acknowledge it. Some days, the silence around you may have felt like abandonment, but it wasn't. It was preservation. You were being hidden, not forgotten. You were being readied, not rejected. Heaven was recalibrating your name for an assignment that couldn't afford interference. The blessing that makes rich doesn't arrive with public fanfare. It matures in secret places. That's why you were isolated. That's why you felt unseen. But what God hid in you during those silent seasons is now coming to the surface. And it's bringing wealth in forms your family never imagined possible. The curse that tried to sit on your bloodline is now broken. The poverty mindsets that whispered through generations are losing their voice. You, chosen one, are becoming the walking evidence that God's blessing makes rich. Not with stress, not with struggle, but with divine favor and peaceful overflow. There were moments you questioned if you missed it, if maybe it skipped you, if the blessing they preached about was somehow delayed in your direction. But that's the thing about God. He doesn't move on human time. He works through divine timing. And when the appointed moment arrives, it doesn't matter who doubted you, who overlooked you, or what you lost in the process. When God's hand rests on your name, everything begins to shift. Slowly at first, then all at once. And you'll find yourself surrounded by opportunities you didn't apply for, doors that weren't even in your plans, and breakthroughs that rewrite your entire story in a single season. That's what the blessing does. It rewrites timelines. You are not being rewarded for being perfect. You are being rewarded for staying faithful. When no one clapped. When no one confirmed you. When all you had was a quiet yes to God in a room filled with spiritual warfare. That yes has now become the seed of your wealth. That yes is about to harvest in dimensions far beyond what your hands can hold. Because you're not just receiving a blessing, you are becoming one. Your presence is about to be a magnet for favor. Your words will start opening doors that were once locked. Your walk will begin to command attention in places where your name was once ignored. The tables are turning, and you're not coming as a guest. You're coming as the one God sent to lead. This richness isn't limited to your bank account. It's also entering your mind, your relationships, your sleep, your ideas, and your health. It's an anointing of abundance that won't need to be explained. The kind where people will ask, "What changed?" And you'll only be able to say, "God." Because there will be no logical explanation for how things turned around. No equation for how the debt disappeared. No worldly pattern for the way peace found you in the middle of chaos. It'll all trace back to a single root, the blessing of the Lord. And no man, no force, no scheme of darkness will be able to block it, reverse it, or claim credit for it. There is a sound forming around you now. It's not noise, it's movement. Invisible to the naked eye, but loud in the spirit. A gathering of things that belong to you. A drawing near of all that was once far. What looked like delay was divine strategy. What looked like loss was actually protection. And now, those pieces are returning with interest. Like a flood restrained by a dam, the moment the seal breaks, it pours with multiplied force. Chosen one, that seal is cracking now. It's not a trickle. It's a torrential downpour of divine compensation. You've carried burdens that didn't belong to you. You've stood in gaps no one saw. You've prayed prayers that didn't have a language. And now, the response is coming. Not in the way you expected, but in a way that reveals the brilliance of God's plan. The blessings won't announce themselves before arrival. They'll just begin to show up. On your phone, in your inbox, in your spirit. The people connected to your next chapter are being sent. The contracts aligned with your purpose are being written. The wealth that was once locked behind red tape is being released. And it will be undeniable that this was not luck, not hustle, not coincidence, but the hand of God making you rich through His own means. Let the world debate how it happened. Let them try to figure out the algorithm. But you will know. Deep in your soul, you'll feel it. The lifting, the clearing, the shift. You'll know that this was the blessing. Not just any blessing, but the blessing. The one that makes rich and adds no sorrow. The one that doesn't burn you out, but builds you up. The one that carries rest within its reward. You'll look around and realize you're no longer striving. You're thriving. And that moment will be sacred. Because you'll recognize that while the world was watching others, God was watching you. And now, it's your time. There was a moment, long before now, where the blessing that makes rich was already moving toward you. It had no trumpet. It carried no announcement. But in the unseen places, it had already been loosed. It hovered over your timeline, scanning the years, marking the moments when you didn't give up. And even when you couldn't feel it, even when it felt like everything around you was proof that nothing was coming, God had already made the decision. Riches would be tied to your name, not for status, but for purpose, not for show, but for impact. And everything that came against you was fighting not your present, but your promised future. You may not have known it then, but you were being tracked by favor, not random favor. Intentional, heaven-approved favor. The kind that doesn't settle for average outcomes. The kind that pulls your name out of places you didn't submit it. The kind that shows up late in man's timing, but right on time in God's. And chosen one, you've now stepped into the hour when this favor starts touching down. You're not waiting for it anymore. It's locating you. Not because you're perfect, but because your heart stayed aligned when your life was under pressure. It's strange how silence can look like punishment when it's actually preparation. God didn't forget you. He was fashioning a blessing that would be too large for premature hands. The doors that were shut before weren't denials. They were protections. The calls that didn't come through weren't rejections. They were reroutes. And now, after all the turning, the blessing is straight ahead. You can feel the nearness. The wind has shifted. The atmosphere is charged. Something sacred is being released. And this time, you're not going to miss it. What you're stepping into now is not just increase. It's restoration. And not the kind that simply replaces what was lost. This restoration multiplies. It brings beauty from what looked like ashes. It turns the dry land of your struggle into a harvest field. There were things you thought would never be repaired, dreams you shelved, visions you abandoned. But chosen one, God never let go of them. And now, He's breathing life into every place that felt dead. His blessing is reviving more than your finances. It's awakening every promise, every assignment, every dormant gift inside of you. There is a calm that settles when you realize you no longer need to chase. The blessing of the Lord makes rich because it finds you. It doesn't require you to beg. It doesn't demand you perform. It shows up because God said so. It shows up because it's your time. And as it begins to unfold, you'll see how everything that didn't work out before was divinely designed to push you here. This moment of release, this collision of heaven's timeline with your readiness. And when it comes, it won't come alone. It brings peace with it. It brings clarity. It brings new alignments. It even brings healing you didn't know you still needed. There are people who thought you were finished. They watched your struggle and mistook it for your story's end. But they didn't understand that your wealth wasn't meant to be flaunted. It was meant to be formed in the dark. You were being refined, not ruined. And now, God is about to prepare a table for you, not just in celebration, but as a declaration. The blessing that makes rich is about to silence every whisper of doubt that ever tried to linger near your name. Not through revenge, not through argument, but through undeniable evidence. Your life is about to speak louder than their opinions. You were never the backup plan. You were always the blueprint. And that blueprint included divine provision. There's a difference between provision that's temporary and provision that's divine. Temporary provision runs out. Divine provision overflows. Temporary wealth fades with systems. Divine wealth transcends seasons. And what's coming to you now isn't just for a season. It's for legacy. It's for impact. It's for the fulfillment of what God whispered to you years ago when no one else could hear it. That whisper is becoming a wave. That wave is becoming a flood, and it's bringing everything you need with it. Some of the blessings coming your way will carry names you haven't even heard yet. Opportunities that didn't exist when you first started believing. Paths that weren't built until you decided to keep walking in faith. God's blessing makes rich because it doesn't follow the expected pattern. It rewrites the story. It breaks open timelines. It pulls wealth from wells you didn't dig. And it plants you in rooms where your presence alone shifts the atmosphere. You've felt the tension of the in-between, the space between knowing you're chosen and wondering when it will actually show. But that tension wasn't wasted. It was stretching you for capacity, because the blessing that makes rich requires a vessel that won't crack under weight. And that's what God has been doing all this time, strengthening your core, preparing your frame, fortifying your spirit. So when the blessings arrive, you won't just receive them, you'll carry them, you'll steward them, you'll build something generational from what others thought would break you. This blessing won't ask for your credentials. It won't check your resume. It will arrive because heaven's decision overrides earth's process. There will be no warning. There will be no permission asked. There will only be a shift. A divine shift that places you in alignment with everything God stored for this exact moment. It may come through a message, a meeting, an open door, a sudden breakthrough. But when it does, it will feel like everything finally caught up to the yes you gave God in silence. And chosen one, when that moment happens, remember, you are not lucky. You are called. You are not an exception. You are the evidence. Evidence that God rewards the faithful, that He blesses those who stay when it would have been easier to leave. that he honors obedience whispered through tears, that he multiplies what looks like nothing when it's placed in his hands. You will no longer be known by your pain. You will be recognized by your purpose. And where you once lacked, you will now overflow. Not because you earned it through human systems, but because God's blessing cannot be stopped by human resistance. The same hands that struggled to make ends meet will soon hold contracts, keys, and confirmations. The same heart that wrestled with doubt will soon be flooded with assurance. And the same life that looked forgotten will now be celebrated as a story of divine wealth and holy timing. This is not a suggestion, it's a prophetic confirmation. The richness that is forming around your name is real. The timing is not random. The doors are not accidental. And the overflow is not delayed. It's all unfolding in the perfect rhythm of heaven's design. God's hand is not hovering anymore. It's releasing. And you, chosen one, are about to walk in wealth that can only be explained by one sentence. You've stood on the edge of many moments, unsure if the next step would hold you or collapse beneath you. You've walked through rooms where you felt invisible. You've listened to conversations that excluded your name, even when your heart carried the solution. But none of that went unnoticed by God. While others saw you as optional, God saw you as essential. And because of that, He reserved something for you. Not because of your connections, not because of your titles, but because of your covenant. And that covenant is now calling forth the blessing that makes rich. There were seasons when you watched others rise, and you wondered if perhaps you were forgotten. But what you didn't see was the divine delay working in your favor. The delay wasn't to withhold, it was to increase. It was to ensure that when it arrived, it wouldn't just meet a need, it would establish a throne. God doesn't bless you with small returns when you've survived great pain. He doesn't place a crown on a head that's not ready to carry the responsibility. That's why you were processed in silence. That's why the spotlight skipped over you. Because the richness being formed in your life had to come through divine layers. And now those layers are unlocking. The world often rewards noise, but heaven rewards endurance. And you, chosen one, endured. You endured while bleeding. You endured while being overlooked. You endured while still serving others. And because you didn't curse the journey is now about to reward you. The blessing of God does not arrive with chaos. It enters with clarity. And this new clarity that is awakening around you, it's revealing more than you expected. It's uncovering territories of wealth you didn't even pray for because you didn't know to ask. But God knew. He always knew. He knew that the environments that made you feel small were actually building strength. He knew that the moments of lack were developing discernment. He knew that the pressure was creating capacity. And now, He knows you're ready. Not ready in the eyes of men, ready in the timing of heaven, ready for more, ready to steward what's sacred, ready to walk into rooms not as a guest, but as one sent with divine backing. The richness that's coming won't be loud, but it will be undeniable. It will carry an anointing that money can't buy. It will carry evidence that can't be faked. It will reflect the hand of a God who does not forget. The conversations are already happening. Your name is in places your feet haven't touched yet. Alignments are forming. Systems are shifting. Heaven is sending the blessing in a way that will transform everything around you. And when it comes, it will not come piece by piece. It will come in waves. Waves of favor. Waves of opportunity. Waves of divine affirmation. You will not be able to contain the gratitude that fills your chest, because it won't just feel like a win, it will feel like a resurrection. Like everything that was buried under doubt and delay is suddenly alive again. Not because of force, not because of performance, but because of presence. God's presence. You were never meant to fit in with the crowd. You were always called to carry the current. And that current is what the blessing rides on. It's not random. It's specific. It's strategic. It's sent to shift the landscape around you. That's why it took time. That's why the warfare was intense. That's why you almost gave up. Because what's on its way carries too much spiritual weight to be delivered casually. Your identity is not tied to what you've endured. It's tied to what God is entrusting to you now. This blessing won't just elevate your bank account. It will elevate your understanding of who you are. It will awaken dreams you forgot how to believe for. It will restore hope in places you thought were permanently closed. And it will do it all without noise, without negotiation, without needing validation from those who once doubted you. The blessing that makes rich arrives without sorrow, without shame, and without struggle. Not because struggle doesn't exist, but because the struggle is finally over. You fought through it. You stayed standing. You didn't bow to the pressure. And now, the heavens have authorized your overflow. This isn't a blessing you'll need to chase. It's a blessing that will chase you. It will find you in the hallway, on the flight, in the waiting room, in the silence. It will know your address even if you change it. Because it was written for your life, sealed with divine ink. The things that were held up are being released. The funds that were frozen are being loosed. The influence that was suppressed is being magnified. And not because someone gave you permission, but because God has decided. And when God decides, the earth responds. Systems bow, delays unravel, and wealth appears in ways that defy calculation. There will be people who ask, "How did this happen for you?" And you won't need to explain. All you'll have to do is live. Live in the blessing. Walk in the richness. Shine with the evidence. And as you do, your life will preach louder than any sermon. It will announce to the world that obedience was worth it. That trusting God wasn't foolish. That staying faithful in hidden seasons wasn't wasted time. It was all necessary.